first of all, what is your name?
My name is Tim Brulia.
And
Okay.
I've known you for a very long time.
Yes. Yes.
So what social media websites are you a member of?
Okay. I am Facebook, Twitter, um, believe it or not, oh, what's one called? Jeez. Discord. Yeah.
Discord.
And those are pretty, yeah. So those are pretty much, yeah, through we had a forum, a user forum dealing with sports history, and I guess the forum was very old and outdated, so we switched over to Discord, and I had a little trouble getting used to it, but I've pretty well, you know, gotten through it okay. And I'm also on Instagram, but I don't really use Instagram a great deal. Those are my keys are Facebook and Twitter.
How often do you use those two?
Every day.
And what do you do usually?
Well, with Facebook, it's a good way to keep up with old friends. And I like to throw some humor out there, so I'll put some puns out there, some New Yorker cartoons, um, so sports stuff. So I'll throw out there, the sport info. So that's what I use Facebook, and it's cool because it does rekindle old friends that I had with people that I had forgotten years ago.
How do you protect your privacy when using social media?
Well, I don't mean my address or my phone number.
How has social media impacted you?
A great deal, and actually for the positive. I mean, you do hear a lot about the negatives of social media. Um, I see it as positive. Now, sometimes there are things that rankle me on the Twitter end of things because, to me, Twitter is more political than Facebook. I've never, and I tend to ignore those negative ads on there. But as far as contacting people that I have no other way of contacting them, it is I love it for that, and it helps me to keep in contact with so many people. And I probably have friends that I've had on there now longer through Facebook than when I actually were friends with them back in the day.
What do you think the future of social media will look like?
That's a good question. um I I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I mean, there are perils. We now, of course, just Elon Musk has bought Twitter. um I if a group of people rather than a sole individual were to run the show, so to speak, and set the rules like a committee as opposed to a single individual like Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk. I think if you have that and make it more of an international community as far as who would govern and regulate Facebook. Not to say that I think, because there are customs that may apply to one country but not to another. And somehow, if you could regulate that without limiting the freedom of speech that you have, but not abusing the free speech that you have, I think would be where the social media would go in the future.
I think that's a really good answer.
Thanks.
Last question. Is there anything that would help you stay current with new media technologies, such as classes or a newsletter or something like that?
Word of mouth, actually. I don't really need updates to technology. I think it just happens, evolves. I mean, 20 years ago there was no such thing as a smartphone. We did have cell phones, but not a smartphone. And it just leaks through people. And of course, now with not just television or radio, but social media, the web, of course, those tools still will help us to learn what's new, learn what's updated with technology. And I think that like with anything else, if the public takes to it, then it will work. If the public does not, it'll fade by the wayside.
Well, great. Do you have anything else you want to say about social media?
Yeah, my opinion is it's a curse and a blessing. It's in that way, and it's a curse in a way too, because there's a lot of vitriol that's spread out over social media, and I hate to see that. I think, obviously, whenever something good comes along, there's always something bad that follows with it. So, but that's what happens. You do get the bad with the good, and in some cases, you have to deal with it that way. And hopefully, the good will prevail eventually, as it does.
All right. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me. I really appreciate it.
You're
It's
quite
nice to
well.
see you again.
Yeah, same here.